It is week one of the Curt Mallory weekly press conference here on GoSycamores.com, as well as the Indiana State Facebook page. Indiana State will open up on Thursday night against the Quincy Hawks. Kickoff will be for 7 o'clock p.m. at Memorial Stadium. Coach, I'll open it up to you just for an opening statement and getting things rolling here for the 2018 season.
Well, we're very excited for this week. Is finally here to start the 2018 season. Our players have worked extremely hard. Our coaching staff has done a tremendous job bringing these young men along. Can't say enough about Coach McManus and the job he's done in the weight room. We're excited to get started. Thursday couldn't come soon enough to get things rolling.
You mentioned it's about time. I know for all of you guys, it's kind of a build-up and anxiety and getting ready. But how you always kind of talk about it as a slow steam, a slow build-up, and getting your guys ready for Thursday, knowing there's probably going to be a lot of energy from your guys and just wanting to go out and make sure they put last year. How do you handle your group as you get ready for Thursday and knowing you're going to have a group that's going to be extremely ambitious? And I'm sure sometimes you don't want to tamper that, but also you don't want them to come maybe out a little bit too amped up.
Sure. We're going to have 65 guys on this football team that have yet to play in a football game for Indiana State. We continually are stressing stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. Play one play at a time, one game at a time, and that's been the approach all along. These guys have worked extremely hard, but we're just anxious to get going. But we're anxious to kick the thing off and start off on a good note.
You mentioned 65 guys that haven't played a down yet for Indiana State football. That kind of tells you it's really a new look for this team. Where do you feel from when you watch your team through fall camp and in practice this year from a year ago, the biggest strides they have made?
Well, it starts with our 23 seniors. We've got 23 young men that have been all in. Didn't like the way that things went our way last year, but they did something about it, didn't point fingers. Pulled the thumb, blame nobody. Let's get to work attitude. Couldn't be more proud of those 23 seniors because that's where it started. It started with the leadership of those young men. The day after the Northern Iowa game, they put it upon themselves that they're going to lead us and we're going to get this thing turned around.
Let's start on offense. Of course, one of the biggest storylines has been who's going to lead the offense. And from the day one of fall camp, you said, I really like Ryan Boyle and Jaleel Kilpatrick. You love the tempo that they had and how they set it for the offense, not just the first day, but throughout. You said you've really had two guys you're really comfortable with. Why do you have two guys that you're really comfortable with, and why you guys as a staff are excited to see what Jaleel can do on Thursday?
Well, it's maturity. Both of them are older, more mature. The way they conduct, the way they carry themselves, they play with confidence, and it carries over. Carries over with the other 10 guys that are out there with them. It's a good problem to have because when they're out there, you feel like you don't lose a beat. Although a little bit different styles, they're both very athletic. They both can run the football. They both can throw the football. But they both carry the same attribute, and that's leadership. And it's a good problem to have, and we're certainly glad to have both of them in our program.
You mentioned a good problem to have in terms of leadership. It really looks like when you flip it and you go to the defensive side of the ball, you have a lot of guys you can point to and say that's a leader for that group. Felt at times last year when Curt Mallory would leave a game, when Jonas Griffith would lead a game, you would notice. You would notice a difference because of their leadership qualities and what they have. Do you feel that group has grown the most in that area of having many guys you can throw out there, even if they're one of those 65 guys that have yet to play it down here at Indiana State? You won't skip much of a beat because you know you're going to need more guys than just Curt Mallory and Jonas and the guys that really build up the middle of that defense.
It always starts in the middle, and I've been fortunate to be part of some great defenses, and it always started in the middle. Started with your middle linebackers, started with your interior guys, and it carried on to your safeties. And right down the middle, your defense. And we feel like we've got 6 guys that we can build the team around. Obviously, you mentioned Jonas and you mentioned Cottrell. That's the heart and soul of our team, let alone the defense. Then you get down in the interior with Rex and Pashan and what they add. And then you get into the back end with Denzel and Jamal. and then obviously you build it from there. And we're certainly happy with the way Rondell's come back, Noakes being on the edge, and being able to add a guy like Clayton Glasgow. And so, but it always starts right down the middle of your defense, and we feel like we got something to build from.
Of course, this week, hearing you at practice, you talk to your guys about it's about us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and that is for the season. It's not just about Quincy. It's not just about Louisville. It's about us each and every week. Knowing that and understanding that, just when you do watch the film of Quincy, what's kind of the main things that jump off to you for you guys as a staff?
They got good football players. Much like us a year ago, maybe things didn't always go our way, but they got good football players. Got a tremendous middle linebacker, and the same thing. You're going to build a defense around that. They got some big guys up front, push the ball. They got running back that can carry the rock, but they got good football players. Make no mistake about it, this is a good football team. But again, this happens to go down to us, and how we've improved and how we approach it. And we have to have the mindset that we're going to take it one play at a time because we got an awfully good opponent coming in here Thursday night.
And finally, Coach, you mentioned it, take it one play at a time, take it easy when you get to Thursday. I know a lot of work still in between now and Thursday night. But what's going to be the biggest message to your group and some of the things you really want to see out of them come Thursday?
The same thing we talked about earlier is take it one play at a time. What you want to see is that we've improved. That'll come about. But it's how you take that approach. Hey, they're going to have big plays too. It's going to go back and forth. It's like a roller coaster. You put the seatbelt on and you go up and down. And a team that can play the next play and keep rolling and play through the punches. And that's what we've got to do. That we've grown that way. A year ago when things weren't going our way, we couldn't stop it. This year, I believe we've got a more mature team. And when things start going their way, that we're able to stay together, pull together, not pull apart, and stay together as a football team and weather the storm and get on to the next play.